Xbox just had their 20th anniversary showcase where they talked about so many things. We had history lessons, games, new announcements, and Halo Infinite's multiplayer dropping, which has completely shocked the gaming world. Let's get into everything that was said and also talk about how Xbox is taking over the 2021 holiday season, because right now they're on fire and completely taking control of the gaming world. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, make sure to hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. It helps out a lot. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about and speculate on, because the first thing I want to talk about has to be Xbox dropping Halo Infinite's multiplayer live on stage. This to me shows that Xbox has a lot of confidence in not only the Halo franchise, but also Game Pass as a whole. Let's get into what was said and when it started to become a reality. Halo Infinite multiplayer has been surprise released early. The free-to-play multiplayer mode was supposed to launch alongside the campaign. As part of Xbox's 20th anniversary stream to celebrate the release of the original Xbox, Microsoft confirmed the surprise release of the multiplayer component, which will be entirely free to play. The surprise announcement is a nice way to celebrate the anniversary, not to mention one of the company's longest running franchises, not least given the Halo Combat Evolved was a launch game for the original Xbox. The mode was originally supposed to release on December 8th alongside the game's campaign mode. Unlike previous Halo games, the multiplayer and campaign modes are two separate releases, with the former free to play while the latter will retail at $60. Rumors began to spread a few days ago about an early release for the mode after a fan saw a November 15 release date listed in the game store page source code. Despite the game also arriving on Xbox One, Halo Infinite has been a highly anticipated first-party release for Microsoft since the Xbox Series XS was released last year. Halo Infinite was originally set to release as a launch title alongside the Series X and S game consoles before Microsoft delayed the game into 2021 due to COVID-related impacts. Okay, so I have to admit, I never saw this coming. I saw all the rumors over the weekend. I saw people saying it's coming early on November 15th, and I took those rumors and threw them out the window. I even had people I knew that have information on the inside tell me the same thing, that it was coming. But I just didn't believe it because I wanted to keep my expectations in check. I didn't want to sit there and hype something up like it was going to be coming on Monday or today. Because for me, Halo is the biggest franchise Xbox has, and to float those rumors around just seemed a little dangerous to me. But I'm glad I'm wrong. And now we can easily see that Xbox is here to play hardball in the 2021 holiday season. The event they just had was a culmination of a lot of things. It wasn't just Xbox, it wasn't just games, it was everything that Xbox is pushing towards in the future. Halo Infinite is one of those things. They understand now that Halo isn't just a single release date, and that's all it is. They've talked about Halo Infinite being a huge franchise that will last for the next 10 years, and they'll continue to update the game as time goes on. Yet for several years, there's been rumors floating around that Microsoft has been wanting to push the multiplayer out before the campaign. A lot of people have said this for a very long time. I've heard this from insiders and people I know. I always figured it was just a rumor and nothing will come of it. Plus, I always figured you wanted to release the campaign with the multiplayer. But now I believe Xbox sees Halo as two franchises. They love the campaign and will continue to provide us epic storytelling through the Master Chief. But they're also looking at the multiplayer as something completely different. And I think a lot of free-to-play games change the way they treat this franchise. From now on, we'll get the multiplayer aspect of Halo as a service, something that we will see get battle passes and huge patches and so on. But it's going to be an ever-evolving door of content. We will get random updates and it will turn into an event on its own. So expect something like Warzone or Apex Legends where we get massive content updates as the years go on. They don't have to release or coincide with the campaign of the game because you know what? It stagnates Halo. Halo 5 is great. People still play the multiplayer, but again, the hype around Halo has died down because no new game has released. They're going to try to combat that with the multiplayer aspect while they still develop the campaign on the back end. Which brings me to the campaign. I think 2022 and this Halo Infinite campaign launch is going to be massive. I mean, they not only showed the multiplayer mode and launched it, but they also showed off the new Paramount Plus Halo series. Halo has officially launched into the stratosphere of gaming. It's not just a game, it's going to be a long-lasting franchise that isn't going to depend on a single release. Instead, we'll get the show, we'll get the game, and we'll get continued updates on the multiplayer aspect. We've known for a long time that the team building the campaign is different than the team building the multiplayer, so I expect a lot of things to change to the franchise as 2021 closes out and 2022 starts up. And while Halo was the biggest announcement, there was still some more news that we got into, which has to be the back compat announcement. This was actually pretty massive. We see 70 plus titles join the back compat system. Here's what was said. Microsoft put its Xbox backward compatibility program on hold 2 years ago, but it's returning today for a final update to the catalog. To celebrate 20 years of Xbox, Microsoft is now adding 76 new games to the backward compatibility library today. It's a surprisingly long list of additions, including the entire Max Payne series, Skate 2, Dead or Alive Ultimate, and Star Wars Jedi Knight 2. This latest and final addition of 70 plus titles to the backwards compatibility program was only possible through the passion and feedback from the community, explains Peggy, compatibility program lead at Xbox. Xbox fans' constant requests for specific titles and enhancements encourage the backwards compatibility team to partner with the original creators to preserve thousands of games from over 4 generations of Xbox. Every original Xbox or Xbox 360 game added today will support auto HDR on Xbox Series X and S consoles, and original Xbox games will include a resolution increase too. Xbox One X and Xbox Series X owners will see a 4 times resolution increase on original Xbox games, with a 3 times bump on the Xbox Series S, and a 2 times increase on Xbox One S and Xbox One consoles. FPS boost is also being enabled on 11 of the titles added today, which doubles the original frame rate up to 60 frames per second. FPS boost is also arriving on 26 existing backward compatible games today, including the entire Gears of War franchise, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas. You can find the full list of FPS titles right here. What else is there to say here? We know that the back compat team has been very quiet lately. We haven't really seen any new games come to be announced, even though a lot of gamers were hoping they would get some new games brought to the service. It's obvious that Xbox didn't want to just drop a couple of games here and there. They held on to these games for a couple months and wanted to announce them at the 20-year event. And I have to say, it's pretty awesome, and they pulled it off, because I was only expecting like 6 or 7 games, maybe 10, not 76. I mean, the Max Payne series alone is worth the wait. That's one of my favorite games ever, and I loved every single one of those games and beat them completely. So to see them come back to Xbox via back compat makes me happy. Oh, and you throw in the auto HDR in the Series X and S consoles, and you can see that they didn't cheap out on these ports. We see 4 times resolution increase for original Xbox games and 3 times the bump on the Series X games. But the crown jewel of these has to be the FPS boost, which will happen to 26 of these titles. That's something I can't help but be happy about, because playing games at 30 FPS now is just not possible for me. After playing on the Series X and my PC, anything other than 60 FPS is a crime at this point. So yeah, the amount of content just put out there at their anniversary event actually surprised me. I mean, think about it. I was one of the people saying to temper your expectations, and to some extent, I was saying that because I know that the Game Awards, it's just around the corner. So what could Xbox possibly show that would impress us? Well, they came out swinging with not only a history lesson, but also a lot of cool announcements. We got a 6-part documentary series come out. We have a Halo show coming out in 2022. We have back compat announcements that drop so many favorite games from generations ago, not to mention the FPS boosts. Oh, and to top it all off, they drop a AAA game in Halo Infinite multiplayer for gamers to enjoy today. That's such an insane event that I've never really seen anything like this. What other publisher or studio drops a game like Halo Infinite multiplayer the same day of an event? I've never seen this before, and I have to give credit to Xbox for doing something so bold, especially when they're making a massive change to a franchise like Halo. But I'm glad they did it at an event and were honest about their changes instead of making some random Twitter posts or interviews. But let me know what you thought of the event. Were you surprised by the Halo drop? Did Xbox's event get you hyped? Did you like the new back compat announcements? Is Halo multiplayer more popular than the campaign at this point? Were you happy with the way Xbox ran this event? And what other surprises do you want to see Xbox bring out in 2021 or going into 2022? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, all I can say is I'm going to be jumping into the Halo multiplayer all week. I don't care. I know they just dropped it. I've been playing a bunch of other games like Guardians of the Galaxy. I just beat COD Vanguard, which was great. I've been playing Battlefield 2042, which I think is amazing. But honestly, it's all about Halo now because they just dropped the multiplayer. I want to get into the Battle Pass. I want to get into everything. I'm going to be playing that on my PC and my Series X to see which one looks awesome. You'll be seeing me gathering footage and putting it on here as I talk about all the other news that's coming out because there's a lot. Phil Spencer had an interview. Sarah Bond had interviews. There was a lot of information coming out today, and I'm going to be talking about all of it on this channel. So stay tuned. Keep track of what's going on because you know what? Xbox is firing on all cylinders right now. So let's try to keep up. But let me know what you're playing. Are you going to be jumping into Halo like everyone else? Let me know down below because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.